Jai Swaminarayan. Dear devotees, do you know which is one of the most popular and dirtiest sin in 21st century? Think for a while. Which is one of the most popular and dirtiest sin in 21st century? It is nothing else than a sin of adultery. Yes, this sin of adultery has become so contagious that it is spreading like anything in this society. As a devotee of Bhagwan Shree Swaminarayan, as a satsangi of Bhagwan Shree Swaminarayan, we must be extremely vigilant to be away from the sin of adultery. Today, in this video series Be Ekantik, we are going to discuss the second niyam of a satsangi of Bhagwan Shree Swaminarayan, which Premanand Swami mentioned in Nirvikalpa prayer, not to commit adultery. Today we will be discussing about the meaning of adultery, consequences of adultery, causes of adultery, and solutions of adultery. So let's get into it. What is adultery? Adultery is having a sensual relation with anyone other than one's spouse is called adultery. In today's contemporary society, adultery also includes extramarital affairs, premarital affairs. Adultery is not just about married people, it's also about the unmarried bachelors. Before getting married, having premarital affairs or girlfriend-boyfriend relation, that is also an act of adultery. Adultery is not just limited to physical relations, it is also about mental attachment. Seeing other women with vulgar eyes, with bad eyes, lustful eyes, that is also an act of adultery. Now, what are the consequences and impacts of adultery in our life? When someone is engaged in adultery, how it impacts his personal life, his family life, his social life. Let us explore the consequences and impacts of adultery. Number one, divorce and broken family. Adultery is one of the leading causes for divorce in India. Around 40 to 50% of marriage in US end in divorce. Just imagine when the extramarital affairs are exposed in the married life. What will happen? It will collapse the marriage. It will turn into a divorce. And the divorce will rob the happiness of whole family. The whole family will suffer because of divorce. Number two, domestic crimes and violence. When extramarital affairs are revealed, when disloyalty in the married life is discovered, it will also turn into domestic violence, and sometimes it also results in a murder. Let me present some statistics. The National Crime Records Bureau in India reported over 80,000 cases of domestic violence and around 29,272 cases of murders in 2021. Most of the cases are caused by adultery and extramarital affairs. Remember, disloyalty and disintegrity in the married life provokes the intense anger, and that causes such kind of extreme violence and crimes. Number three, increase of orphan children. As a result of divorce, children will become orphaned. They will miss their parents. They will lose the love and affection of their parents. And such orphan children will be the victim of poverty, abuse, and they will live into a dark future. In the US, it is estimated that nearly 1 million children experience parental divorce each year. According to UNICEF, around 31 million children in India are orphans, many due to family disruption caused by divorce. This sin of adultery, destroying the life of innocent children, destroying the potential of innocent children. Number four, increase of abortion cases. Unwanted pregnancies resulting from extramarital affairs or premarital affairs ultimately lead to abortion. This irreversible act of intimacy, irreversible act of adultery, cause death of one innocent life. One sin of adultery is causing another sin of violence. India was accounted for 15.6 million abortions in 2020 alone. Isn't it eye-opening? 15.6 million abortions, which means 15.6 million innocent lives were ended by abortions. What is the reason? An act of adultery. Number 5, horrible disease like HIV, AIDS. There are many diseases, but one of the most weird and painful diseases is AIDS. Even today, there is no medicine for this disease. How it is caused? It is caused by the adulterous activities. According to NSCO, approximately 2.3 million people were living with HIV in India as of 2020. Extramarital affairs are the significant contributor for the spread of this infection of AIDS. Why do we refer all these consequences? Because when you get such kind of thoughts in your mind, you tell your mind, these are the sufferings. When your mind will understand these sufferings, it will stop having such kind of thoughts. Number 6, horrible punishment in the hell. According to our Vedic scripture, one who is indulged in adultery, he gets the horrible punishment in the hell by Yamdutas. One gets severe punishment in Tapta Surmi Narak, Lal Bhaksha Narak, Andha Tamisra Narak, Tamisra Narak. One who is indulged in the act of adultery, he will get such kind of horrible punishment in the hell. So dear devotees, dear students, when you get such kind of thoughts in your mind, you must remember all these punishments and sufferings that can help you remain away from the sin of adultery. Now the most important question is, what fuels adultery in the society? Though the consequences are so intense and so horrible, even though why the adultery is spreading in the society? Let us understand the causes behind the adultery one by one. Number 1, vulgar movies and media. Look around. What kind of movies, web series, TV shows, social media, Instagram reels, YouTube shorts, what kind of contents they are dumping in our mind? They glamorize extramarital affairs, girlfriend-boyfriend culture. And we do what we see. That's how such kind of vulgar contents are impacting our mind and our actions, and they are fueling adultery in the society. Number 2, watching adult videos. My God, this is biggest disease of today's youngsters. Most of the youngsters have fallen in the pit of watching adult videos. Studies indicate that over 60% of young internet users in India, including teenagers, have viewed pornographic contents. Around 56% of male teenagers in urban areas reported regularly watching adult videos. According to the survey by the Indian Psychiatric Society, around 30% of men and 8% of women was surveyed that their use of pornography was affecting their personal relationships. Such kind of nonsense contents are fueling adultery in the society. Number 3, tempting circumstances like being in club party or in travel or working together with colleagues or having online interaction with some people. Tempting circumstances can be vary by person to person. As a devotee of Bhagwan Swaminarayan, we must avoid such kind of tempting circumstances so that we can remain safe from the sin of adultery. Number 4, company of vulgar friends. Mostly they look like your friend, but actually they are your enemy. They share bad contents with you, vulgar contents with you, adult contents with you. Indirectly, they make you addicted to vulgar contents, and finally they drag you into the pit of adultery. Number 5, lack of strong commitment. Before getting into the married life, if there is no mutual commitment between each other, then certain circumstances can drag their mind into extramarital affairs. Number 6, lack of love in married life. When there is no spark of love between each other, that dissatisfaction, that emptiness can lead to the extramarital affairs. Regular misunderstandings, conflicts, fights also can cause the adulterous action. Number 7, widowhood. When someone lost his wife or husband In that lonely situation, his mind will try to find someone who can love him. That lonely situation also can lead to the adulterous action. Number 8, adversity. Adverse situations like financial loss, failure, setbacks, rejection, insult, stress, tension, health issues, emotional crisis. In such kind of adverse situations, our mind becomes vulnerable. In that case, our mind tries to find someone to console him. In such kind of adverse situation, our mind can fall into the action of adultery. Now at last, let us explore the solutions to adultery. Number 1, strong commitment in advance. Before you get into the marriage, have strong and bona fide commitment between each other that we will remain loyal to each other for lifetime. Even for students also should have such kind of commitment that before my marriage, I will not have any premarital affairs, and after marriage, no extramarital affairs. Take inspiration from Bhagwan Shree Ram. Before wedding Sitaji, there was nobody in the life of Bhagwan Shree Ram, and after wedding Sitaji, there was nobody except Sitaji in the life of Bhagwan Shree Ram. There is a perfect example of perfect character and perfect dharma. Number 2, strictly avoid triggering circumstances. Yes, my dear devotees, our mind is like a water. It changes its color based on the vessels it is filled in. Similarly, our mind acts and reacts according to the situation, environment, and circumstances we are in. If we are in good circumstances, mind will produce the good thoughts. If we are in bad circumstances, our mind will produce the bad thoughts. So strictly avoid the triggering circumstances for adultery. Especially for the woman, Bhagwan Swaminarayan commanded in Sikshapatri that married woman should not participate in any such kind of entertainment program which provokes the vulgar thoughts. Number 3, see women as mother or sister or daughter, except wife. When we change our attitude towards woman, it also changes our thought process. When we see woman as an object of enjoyment, that's where all the vulgar thoughts, all the lustful thoughts arise in our mind. But when we change our eyes, when we change our view towards women, when we see them like our mother or sister or daughter, that will change the entire thought process. That's how we can remain safe from the sin of adultery. Number 4, stay engaged in a greater mission. When you don't have greater purpose in your life, greater mission in your life, you will face lot of distractions in your life. Remember, empty mind, free mind is the cause of all attractions and distractions. So stay engaged in a greater mission so that your mind doesn't get diverted to other such lustful thoughts. Number 5, have satsang and spiritual guidance from true saints. Without spiritual guru in life, without true saint in life, we cannot overcome the worldly desires, lustful desires. So first of all, fix your spiritual guru, true saint in your life, and listen his satsang. Listen their words regularly. Their words will work like a fighter in your mind. When the bad thoughts will arise, the words of saints will fight against those bad thoughts, and that's how you can remain safe from the sin of adultery. Now the last and most powerful solution is do Nishkam Seva of God and true saints. One of the most powerful purification practice for our mind, our soul is Nishkam Seva Yoga. Nishkam means without any expectation, without any demand, desire. When we perform seva of God and His true saints, we receive their divine blessings. With their divine blessings, their divine grace will purify our mind, our heart, our soul, and we will be able to experience God and we'll be free from the worldly desires. We'll be free from the sin of adultery. So, my dear devotees, let us all follow these 6 solutions and be away from the sin of adultery. And at last, let us all reach to the Akshardham, the divine abode of Bhagwan Shree Swaminarayan. Thank you. Jai Swaminarayan.